Great.
Okay, so
I'm gonna have all of your tabs at the end of the year.
let's do a little bit of little reminder here. What if I had 3 4s plus 1 6? How do I add those together?
You find the common denominator.
Alright, what do 4 and 6 both multiply into?
12.
So to change this to a 12, I need to multiply by 3. Whatever I multiply the denominator by, I need to multiply the numerator by. And 6 needs a 2, so it goes like that. So it's 9 twelfths plus 2 twelfths. If this would reduce, which it doesn't, but if this was like 10 twelfths, we could still reduce that. But anyway.
That's already
Yeah.
X's and L's.
I vote
That
that's,
idiotic stuff.
I vote that's all we do.
Okay, number 1. This will probably go pretty quick.
Which numbers are we doing?
20.
We've heard
One.
that before.
320.
And I was right every time. I meant 1 through 6 will probably go kind of quick.
Wow. You just had to set our hopes like that and then crush them.
Wait, did you say what would this be?
1 through 20,
We got what page?
395.
Okay.
You two are taking a test. I
Nothing
wanted to talk to you.
No, we missed that one.
You can't make me take no test. I missed a test. I did my time.
You took the last test, didn't you?
Yeah.
Jigs are
Oh yeah, the last test. So easy.
Okay.
Sean Hunters.
So, what do 3 and 15? So it's kind of like finding a common denominator. That's what we're practicing for. What's the least common multiple of both of these? What do 3 and 15 both go into?
3.
15. Okay, 15 doesn't go into 3, 3 goes into 15. Okay, what does x and no x's both go into? X. What does y squared and y both go into?
Y squared.
Y squared. Because y squared times 1 is y squared, and y squared, or y times y is y squared. What does z and nothing go into? Z. So what's the basic rule with the letters? What do you guys think is the pattern of the letters? So basically, whoever has the most x's or y's or z's or whatever. A long time ago, when we did least common multiple, I said when you're finding the least common multiple, you're looking for the most of each kind. Remember that little phrase? Maybe not. Anyways,
It's not really a multiple, it's just whatever's bigger.
they are multiples, but when you're talking about letters, because y times y would give you y squared. So just whoever has the most is going to be the least common multiple. And do that. All right. Anyway, that's number 1. Number 3. E minus 4. Okay, if this were a like fraction and I was trying to reduce it, would that reduce? Does this reduce at all? No, they're not the same thing. I can't take a 4 out or anything, so no, it doesn't reduce. They don't have really anything that we know of that's in common. So if two numbers don't have anything in common, like say 73, they don't have any common factors. What's the least common multiple for 7 and 3? 7 times 3. So if these two things don't have anything in common, it wasn't really a fraction. It was just sort of like this. If these two things don't have anything in common, then the least common multiple is just going to be the two things multiplied together. And we're not going to make you FOIL it, so you can just leave it like that.
Thank you for not making me foil it. Somebody's having fun. Or should
so on this one, do they have anything in common? Well, this left thing, x minus 2, doesn't break down anymore, but what can we do to this right thing over here?
You can fraction.
What goes into negative 14 that adds up to 5?
Seven.
Plus
Negative 2.
Plus 7 minus 2. Okay, now you remember on the letters on number 1, whoever had the most, that's what they use. They both have an x minus 2, but this one has 2 of them. So we're going to use 2 of them. And this one has an x plus 7, so we need to use one of those as well. That is the least common multiple. So,
I'm gonna be honest, I don't get it.
well, what can I multiply this by to turn it into this? What can I multiply this by to turn it into this? X plus 7. What do I multiply this by to turn it into this? X minus 2.
Okay.
So this is a multiple of both of them. You got to make sure you have enough of each that both of them can turn into this.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I can see how this gets in.
But basically, whoever has the most x minus 2s, that's how much we're using. If there's an x plus 7 in one of them, we need to use that. Okay. You have to use for the least common multiple, you have to use the most of each kind of thing. All right, number 7. Is it ready to add together?
Yes.
Yes, because there's already a common denominator. So what's it going to be? 13 over 5y. Yeah, when you're adding and subtracting, the numerator doesn't, or the denominator doesn't change. It just stays 5y. You should check at the end, does it reduce? Does it reduce? 13 and 5? No. That's it. Okay, on number 9. Does it have a common denominator? Not exactly. Okay. If there's a minus or a negative in the denominator, if there's one negative in the fraction, the whole fraction is negative. So we can move that negative like right here. So it's like minus 2/3. So really it's like x cubed over 3 plus 2 over 3.
So it'd be 2x cubed.
So x cubed plus 2 over 3.
I have a question. Can we just multiply both of them by 0 to make the common denominator and add that together?
What?
Can we just multiply both of those by 0 to give us a
Okay,
common
you
denominator?
can't just multiply things by 0.
Okay.
When you have an equation like this side equals that side, then you can do the same thing to both sides to get a true statement. But multiplying by 0 is not going to help anything ever, because it'll just turn your equation into 0 equals 0.
Wouldn't that be an answer though?
0 equals 0 is not an answer now.
Dang it.
We're looking for x or t or m or whatever. Okay. 5a over a plus b minus 6 over a. Does a plus b and a have a common factor? No. If we had a plus b over a, would that reduce at all? That's another way of asking it. No, it doesn't. Remember, you can't go like this. This a plus b should be thought of as one thing. So the common multiple for a and a plus b is whatever a times a plus b is. So this is kind of where we're heading here. So what does that first fraction need to have that common denominator? What's it missing?
A.
A. It needs an A. So if you multiply the bottom by A, though, you need to multiply the top by A, which would basically make that A squared.
So 5a squared minus 6 over.
Okay, what is the second fraction's denominator missing?
Oh, a plus b.
It's an A plus B. So it needs an A plus B on the bottom, and it needs an A plus B on the bottom. We don't really need to do anything to the bottom. The bottom just stays the same. But we can simplify the top a little bit. So basically what we have there is 5a squared minus 6a plus b. What can I do to that?
You can put 6.
Distributive property, basically, that's a negative 6 in essence. So 5a squared minus 6a minus 6b.
Can that?
It does, yeah, it possibly could factor, but it actually won't. How do I know it won't? Because it doesn't follow the pattern of a 3-term factoring. It's not a squared a and then nothing. Or it's not a squared ab b squared. Sometimes that happens. But it's not in the normal pattern of a 3-term factoring problem, so it's not going to factor. So it's just 5a squared minus 6a minus 6b. Can't take anything out.
Would we factor if it was able to?
Yeah, if it could factor, we would need to factor, because possibly this would reduce, or maybe if we took an A out, that would reduce, but it doesn't work on this one. So anyway, that's kind of we're kind of into the heart of the lesson. That's mostly what this is about. 13. Is m minus 5 and 5 minus m the same thing?
No.
No. How are they related though?
They're there's a word for it, I just can't remember.
Okay, they're opposites. M minus 5 and 5 minus m, whatever they are, whatever it comes out to, they're going to be opposite of each other. So opposites are like 7 and negative 7. So what we can do is, on that second fraction, I'm going to take divide a negative out of the bottom. When you divide a negative 1 out of the bottom, basically those signs will switch. So it becomes negative 5 plus m, which is like m minus 5. So, and where am I going to put that negative? I'm just going to put it out in front of the fraction. Whoops. So it was m minus, or 5 minus m becomes m minus 5 if I take a negative out.
Why did you say
Okay, 5 minus m is the opposite of m minus 5. Like these are opposites. So if I divide a negative out, like this would become a negative, this would become a positive. Or sorry, I said that backwards. This would become negative, and this would become positive. So they're the same. So if you just take a negative out of an opposite, it becomes the same thing. Take a negative out. Okay, 5 plus negative 2 is 3 over n minus 5.
Wouldn't it be minus? Oh, never mind.
I'm not very good at this.
Did I miss something on Friday that was like this? Because I have no idea what's going on.
No,
I don't think you knew what was going on Friday either.
I wasn't here.
Friday was, no.
No, Brady wasn't here.
Oh, that's right.
Friday was 389. I did record it,
Okay.
1 through 16.
That's right.
On 15, is t plus 6 the same thing as 6 plus t?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Order of
because it's
addition
addition.
doesn't matter. they're not opposites, they're exactly the same. So you can go ahead and subtract the numerators. What's 3t minus 4t?
Negative 1 t.
Negative 1t. Okay, you can put the negative on the t, or you can, if the numerator is negative, the whole thing is negative. So it doesn't really matter.
The T's and the pluses really looks great.
That's why I put a tail on my t's. Why would this be wrong? Do you guys know?
Why would that be wrong?
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to have a negative on the bottom.
No. That's
Oh,
not-
no, because it changes the.
Okay, if the bottom is, if I put the negative on the bottom, the whole thing should be negative, not just the t. But anyway,
Yeah.
if you put it out in front there, that's okay. Or if you just put it on the top t, that would be okay. Okay. 17. I'm concerned because 16 is harder than 17.
Yeah.
Let's see, surely we got an odd that's possibly not.
So you must do
Alright,
16.
I might help you guys start on 16 later. Okay, on 17, what do r plus 3 and r plus 8 both go into?
24.
Well, they both go into whatever r plus 3 times r plus 8 is.
R plus 24.
Okay, if they don't have anything in common, they don't, there's nothing that would simplify there. The common denominator is just gonna be r, whatever r plus 3 times r plus 8 is. And we're not gonna figure that out, we're just gonna leave it like that, we're not gonna FOIL. Alright, what is the first fraction's denominator missing
R plus 8.
from the common denominator? R plus 8, that kind of look like that. So the top needs an r plus 8.
So that'd be
What is the second fraction's
R plus 3.
missing? R plus 3. I'll leave myself enough room. So notice, like the r plus 3 is going to the other fraction, the r plus 8 is going to the other fraction. The bottom does, we're not really doing anything on the bottom. It's a good thing about adding and subtracting, I guess. But we can simplify this top. So basically what we have is 6r times r plus 8 minus 9r times r plus 2.
Are you gonna make this
We
stupid?
will simplify that. Okay, so this is 6r squared plus 48r minus 9r squared minus 27r. Does that simplify? Yes. 6r squared minus 9r squared
Negative 3R squared.
and 48r minus 27r.
21.
Okay,
Yeah.
we should, does this factor? It doesn't simplify anymore, we can't add anything.
I don't think so.
You can take a 3r, I'm gonna take a negative 3r out, just so that my front term is not negative. And then what's left if I do that?
All over.
What's 21 divided by negative 3?
Negative
7.
Negative 7. Oh, maybe I should have not taken a negative. No, it doesn't matter. Okay, now that didn't really help us any, but you should always factor, because sometimes, like, it was possible that maybe something could have canceled out, although it didn't on this one. Will it on the next one? Yeah, the next one will. 19.
Ooh, circles.
I'm noticing something about one of the denominators on 19. You guys notice something about one of those denominators?
It's just the other one square.
No.
Oh, divisible? No,
X squared minus 16. What do we
I
know
don't know.
about
Square
that?
minus square.
It's a square minus a square. X squared minus 16 is the same thing as x minus 4 and x plus 4. If your denominators factor, you should factor them. Okay? Because, now what's going to be the common denominator between this and this? What do they both go into?
X plus 4.
No, that's what goes into both of them. They both go into this. Okay? They both have an x plus 4, but this also has an x minus 4. You have to use,
Why is it on the top?
it's not, I was just underlining it, sorry. So the common denominator is x minus 4, x plus 4. What is my first denominator missing?
X minus 4.
Missing the x minus 4.
What does that make the top? 2x, or x squared plus 4x? Or minus 4x?
Yeah. So if I simplify this top here, I get x squared minus 4x plus negative 32 would just be a minus 32. Does that factor? Looks like it might. What goes into negative 32, or 32, that adds up to negative 4? 8 and 4,
Minus equals.
minus 8 plus 4. Alright, does that simplify?
The plus 4 is
Plus 4's can cancel out. So it's just x minus 8 over x minus 4. Yeah, so same thing on 16. If you factor the denominators first, actually, never mind. Those are the same denominators. But, yeah.
So can't you just,
They're the same denominator, but you're going to want to go ahead and factor it because at the end it might reduce with the numerator, with your answer on top. I should probably still help a little bit. 16, so how does that denominator factor? What goes into 28? That adds up to
this
3.
3 is,
What goes into 28 multiplies to 28, that adds up to 3. 7, 4, plus. Now, because they are the same, you don't really have to do anything, but they should reduce once you get your answer with the top. It will reduce. That one's also a little bit tricky because you're supposed to subtract the second fraction, which means you gotta subtract all of that numerator. So it's minus x squared minus 4x plus 3.
would that just be
Yes. Work on that.
Can this be 2D?
No.